I'm Rez, and you're about to watch episode 9 of Fireside Chat with fellow content creators Jin Lee, 40 the Broadway Saiyan, and Lidz87. So tonight we talked about all the stuff that was brought up last week in the June DFFOO community stream. So the Eald'narche banner cycle and those events, the upcoming Layle banner cycle and those events, and what else did we talk about? The new co-ops, the potential GL first LD, which we think is going to be happening at the end of July, and then just a bunch of different Q&As for like what kind of new game mechanics we'd like to see in the game, tips for newer players, things like that. So enjoy, and definitely check out Jin Lee's own upload of the stream with his own thoughts of what we talked about. So thanks so much for tuning in, and hope you enjoy.
Go on for like another 3 hours like we did last time. we get carried away, guys. We have a lot of fun. Oh look, it's 40 number 2, the City Duck. What's up?
That's not my account. That is actually not my account. I already revealed that I was the duck. That's not me.
Yep. That I feel like that's just the meme now.
You're come back in with it.
That's just.
I don't know what to believe.
Me neither. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to episode 9 of the Fireside Chat podcast. We are a monthly podcast where 4 friends get together, have some drinks, and talk about opera omnia. So if my fellow hosts would please introduce yourselves and what you are drinking tonight.
I am Jin Lee. I'm the resident ticket luck hacker in DFFOO. I do the occasional how to play every few months. And if you want to donate to my Yuna cosplay, type in Red Yuna. And yeah, I'm not drinking anything. Water. That's about it.
There you go. It's something.
And now I am officially the Godfather. Now that the old Godfather is retired, there's no coming back from it.
That is true. You are.
We have a monopoly on 40 now. You can only see him here and on his stream.
40. How about yourself?
40 the Broadway Saiyan. You can find me now just on Twitch. I'm still on Discord and Twitter and still part of the Fireside Chat. Glad to be here as always. And tonight I'm having a cranberry Cosmo that I quickly whipped up.
Ooh.
I literally, so before the Fireside Chat, I told my wife, I was like, it's that time. I was like, I need my Fireside Chat drink. And she's like, okay, just don't get too tipsy tonight. So I went over to the local liquor store. I grabbed the Tito's vodka and I grabbed some cranberry juice and I just mixed something up. So I felt like something a bit sweet tonight. So
Respect.
Yeah. Very nice. Rez?
Yeah, I'm Rez. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch and Discord, and as you can see right under my camera, I'm going to be doing a Yuna cosplay at the end of August. I'm going to be in Lebanon at the time of the actual release of Yuna LD, so I'll probably be doing it for Agrius LD on that banner since I'm gemming it. But I already ordered the cosplay. It's being made now, so like it's happening. If you would like to contribute, you are more than welcome to via the link. Rez Yuna Teddy is right here. He's my best bear. And yeah, I went out for drinks with Jeff earlier tonight. And he says hi to everybody, by the way, but I had 5 bourbon sweet iced teas, so I am having water right now.
oh man.
For now. Yeah.
I can't drink any more alcohol tonight. I am all alcoholed out. I had a lot of alcohol earlier.
Nice. And I am Lidz87, also a YouTube and Twitch content creator. And tonight I am drinking Blue Moon. I ran out of whiskey. I was gonna steal some of my wife's tequila to make a margarita, but I was like, I don't have enough time, so I just grabbed what beer was in the fridge, and that is what was in there. So, all right, guys. So it's been a month before our last fireside chat. What have you guys been up to? How was your guys' past month in terms of pull? Now, mind you, we had Tifa, Edward, Porom, Galoof, Bartz, Kadaj, right? And Fujin and Nine. So how did it go for you guys? Anything that you guys are most excited for? Any of these characters that you're using more than you thought you would?
Tifa's my girl. I'm surprised that, like, I do like Dodge, but I'm surprised that she got more of an emphasis than my girl Tifa did. Tifa's the fucking queen. I've been enjoying using her so much, especially since she was very, very, very nice to me. But that's what I'm focusing on the last month with my, like, this is my girl Tifa.
How about you?
It's the emphasis because he is the man. Actually, he's the one that I've been using
more than Tifa.
a lot. I've used him more than Tifa I have. But that's because Tifa, again, she's just so ridiculously OP. But I would say, like, Kadaj is, like, unfortunately, like, if people aren't aware of, like, his EX being bugged, essentially, if his EX doesn't charge after its use, like, everyone's general EX gets charged again after its use. So, like, the first EX charge generally takes the longest, and then after that, it's much quicker because they get an EX charge after their EX use. But Kadaj is actually not getting that, so it's actually bugged in global, and it's also bugged in JP apparently. So Kadaj is supposed to have a faster EX, and it's really hurting him, but I'm still having a lot of fun with him regardless. But I do hope they fix that soon. Josh even mentioned it a little bit on the stream that he did submit, like, a ticket, but that's about it. The game never mentioned it as being an official bug or anything yet, so it might be a while until he's fixed, but I'm still having a lot of fun with him. He's kind of my new Vincent, more or less, but it does infuriate me a little bit, his EX bug, but otherwise he's still a pretty damn solid unit that I think goes underappreciated.
Yeah, I like what he does. He was a huge, he played a huge role on taking on Divine Alexander, at least for me. I'm both the JP and the global side of the game. I'm pretty sure I used just about the same damn teams for both of them, so I wouldn't have been able to do that without him. So I definitely like it.
You didn't use the Gladio cheese?
No, I usually don't do. The only cheese that I do is the Yuffie cheese. I try not to cheese content because I like to give myself challenges sometimes. So yeah, for that one I did not do the Gladio cheese. I know that Jin, you had a video, right, about the Gladio cheese on how to set it up, I think.
Yeah, that became, like, my most watched video because apparently, like, a lot of people know about the cheese, but they didn't know how to do it because it's actually pretty damn complicated when it came to it. I would have a ton of comments. I still get comments on it because people are still trying to clear it now, and they're, like, confused, like, when he doesn't do, like, the same attack over and over again. They're like, the Gladio won't counter unless he does the first attack, and people aren't understanding why the cheese doesn't work. And if I want to give a TLDR really quickly, what the cheese is, essentially you need everyone's max brave at their lowest, and you need Gladio hitting his hardest. So HP damage up units, brave damage up units, and enchant, imperil, calls, and things like that is what gets Gladio his counter to be able to attack high enough so that everyone's max brave gets filled out, and then that will cause Alexander to counter, and then Gladio will counter that counter, and if his counters consistently max out everyone's brave, then it will go on forever. And it has to be strong enough to be able to last through Alexander's stat increases as well. That's pretty much it. I find a lot of people had asked questions without really understanding how the cheese works. So when they don't have my exact units or setup, then they can't seem to get it.
And Gladio's making a comeback soon. I believe it's next month with his Lost chapter. Yeah, in August. He's right after Cloud of Darkness. So if players still want to try to attempt the cheese, there you go. 40, how was this past month for you? How'd you do?
I mean, I pulled for everybody except for Sad Fujin. Ticket wise, I think Galuf drained me the most just because of the nature of his banner being one of those featured all EX, but Galuf's gear is at a rate up. So that drained me. I obviously pulled for Tifa. I can count on my hand like how many people commented on one of my videos before I stopped doing YouTube about how they're not pulling for Tifa, but pretty much everybody pulled for Tifa. So I did too. Bart's I tokened and I pulled. Palom I was unsure, but I did it because it was FF4 and I got him in like 30 tickets. I got lucky. And then Kadaj I pulled because he's unique and he's also, I think to this day he's our only movie only character. I can't think of any other character right now that's like from a movie but not from a game. So, and you know, I mean, he's cool. You know, it's our actual only chance to play as Kadaj. And just like Jin said, I do think he's a little underappreciated. He does have his uses. He's not the greatest character, but he's fun to use and fun to take advantage of, especially with the whole golden debuffs and things like that. But yeah, I had pretty good pulls. So just skip Fujin.
A lot of people like put like Ultimisha's E-Sphere onto Kadaj so he would have a golden defense down debuff. But I actually use Vincent's attack down debuff, and that actually neuters fights. So he can do 70% attack down himself on enemies with Vincent's E-Sphere. So he actually works as a semi-tank neutering person as well. So I found that to be actually very useful. And every Lufenia I ran him with, which is like 4, I never had a burst unit with him either. He deals. He's really good. Yeah, I feel like if his EX was fixed, he would be really solid.
So, in your opinion, Kadash is better than Vincent?
He's kind of the crept unit. He's crept Vincent a little bit, just because he has more utility to last longer. But they actually both work really well because Vincent can actually put down his 90% attack down in the gold frame if they're together.
Jada, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Gifted to Geo.
It's Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
Jeff is the one that got res drunk.
Jeff did get.
See, I usually take like
I got
the
myself drunk.
parts of players' IGNs and just read it quickly. What's up, Jeff? But and talking about Kadaj though, him being he's pretty much the main villain of Advent Children. Yes, Sephiroth does make an appearance, but for the huge portion of the film, he is the main villain. So Kadaj burst weapon, right? We see that happening.
I think he's gonna get it.
I think so.
I think he's gonna get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be very excited if he definitely got it. Now, do you guys think that they would bring in some of these other movie characters into the game? Because I know we have some other Final Fantasy films. Two that pop to my head is Spirits Within and The Kingsglaive. Now, Spirits Within, it was its own thing, kind of like a spin-off. Kingsglaive was the prequel to Final Fantasy 15. It was literally leading up to the events of the game. Do you guys see any of those characters in there? Do you guys think it's possible we could see them in here?
Nyx would be awesome.
Nyx?
Yeah. Nyx and what's the girl's name?
Wasn't it like Aya or something?
And I really liked her, but they did her dirty like early in the movie, but I really like that character from Kingsglaive. But I want to see her in it.
Yeah, I think Aki Ross. Aki Rose? Ross?
No. She was part of Nyx's crew.
Oh, we're talking about. I'm sorry. Now we're circling back to. Oh,
Can't
yes.
think of her name,
Yes.
but I liked her, and I was like, why'd they do her dirty this early?
Yeah,
in the movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that one either. But
Dang it, I can't remember. Oh, Jude. Yeah, there you go. Crow. That's her name. Crow. That's who I want to see in DFFOO.
That'd be really cool if they could
Yeah.
bring some of these characters over to Opera Omnia just to expand some of these characters. But that probably means that some of these characters would get burst weapons, like Nyx for sure. I forgot who the villain was. It was it was that guy in the armor. I think it was like the commander or something.
I think he was actually originally part of their crew, but then he like betrays them. I forgot his name, but he's the villain. I forgot his name. Yeah. But I mean, these characters are in FFBE, like Crow, Nyx, Libertus. They're all in FFBE, so I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be in DFFOO, especially now that we have Kadaj, who's a movie character.
Right, I definitely see them bringing Kingsglaive in, but as people mentioned in chat, Spirits Within, everyone wants to forget that movie, including Square. I don't even remember the story about that movie. It was so bad.
I actually just watched it again. I want to say maybe like 2 months ago, and I was like, okay, it's all right, you know. I gave it another chance. It was okay. I mean, if we have Aki, so.
Speaking of movies, wasn't there a Final Fantasy animated movie or anime? What if they bring those characters in? I think there was.
There was. Yes, there was a Final Fantasy anime.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Yes, Final Fantasy Unlimited.
Like, bring those characters in.
Who was even in that?
Yeah.
But
I don't even know.
I take it.
But I know there's
guys
an
have
anime.
Watched it, right?
I've seen it on the shelves in the 90s when we used to have like Suncoast and like FYE, those stores at the mall. Like I always see the VHS and I never bought it because it was too expensive when I was a kid. So
I said we just grab it and watch it. So
somebody go on eBay and buy it right
movie
now.
night.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So with last week, so we were supposed to do this live stream last week. I'm not going to lie. It was my fault that we weren't able to do it last week. That's why we're doing it this week for the Fireside Chat. But last week we did get the Square Enix community live stream where we did get the upcoming events it was pretty much the end of June and for July. So the newest burst character that we do have is Eald'narche with his LD and burst weapon. Did you guys go for him? Did you guys chase after him? What are your guys' thoughts about Eald'narche?
I had his LD already, and I pulled on the Noele LD banner, at a shot at his burst, just so that I can do like the how to play with the burst footage, and I ended up not getting the burst, so I had to use like the Square dev team footage for my video. And actually, quick note on Eald'narche, even the dev footage used it, but if you use, like, shout out to Inkwelder for pointing this out to me, but if you use his AA before his burst, and then you apply all the higher debuff amounts for all his skills, then once you come out of the burst, he can't reapply debuffs, and then so unless you use an AA, he will run out of his one of his unique buffs that require him to apply debuffs, because his burst effect makes debuffs not tick down, so he can't reapply any debuffs during that duration. So you have to drop one of his LD buffs if you go into his burst with an AA. I think that's a oversight by the devs in designing his kit, because that's pretty like negative, where you should, like, they make you not have to worry about debuffs, but then you have to worry about his buff. Mino's saying that it's a normal outplay. He does run out of it occasionally, which is true. You HP++ quite a bit with him, and you can HP++ during his burst effect, so it's okay if it drops. But I just think it's something to note. I didn't mention in the video, and it's kind of annoying that his burst would hamper him a little bit like that. It should be only bonuses, but so him dropping a buff during his burst effect is kind of weird. But that's the PSA.
No, that's great.
Outside of everything that I said in the video already, but.
No, that's great to know. Thank you. Yeah, I actually didn't know that. Oh no, Eald'narche is fine. Mino, stop it. Just like Barret is great. Barret is awesome, right? You remember that one, huh? But Rez, what do you think about Eald'narche? Did you go for him? How's your free pull so far? We should be having one more, and that's going to be with Iroha.
Yeah, I went for Nacho when his LD first came out. And the intention was I pull him there. I go a little bit over budget there so that once I get to this round of banners, I don't have to pull. So I lasted like 30 minutes on that. And I got FOMO for Noele LD, even though I could not give less of a fuck about Noele or his like unit in DFFOO.
Oh,
And I lost self control and I went way too deep and I got absolutely nothing. But the game made up for it because I had really good pull for Ashe. I didn't get her LD on the free, but I got it on literally my first ticket. So that was great. Yeah. But I didn't get Noele LD. I don't have Nacho Burst. I'm fine not getting it. I've got to entirely skip Iroha LD, which is fine. She's adorable, but I have no connection to her as a character. But yeah, very, very happy that I got Ashe at least.
And how about yourself, 40?
So Eald'narche for me is one of those characters where I recognize his power, and I do have his burst on JP because I intend to try to pull everything on JP just so I can test them out and kind of like give you guys my opinion on them. If you guys ask me about what I think about this character, so I can kind of give you guys an idea of whether to pull or not. But he's one of those characters where I recognize his power, but he's too complex to where he turns off a lot of like players that are a bit more that are looking for a more straightforward approach. But he's strong. I do think he's really strong. I do think the whole terror and warp is a very powerful mechanic that is super unique to him. But his complexity is what I think is the turnoff. But he's not bad. Like I was seeing some really, really bad hot takes that he's bad and stuff, and I'm like,
my.
you should probably read what he does before you make
Right.
that judgment because he's actually really good. It's just he requires a bit more TLC to play. But I have no intention of going for him on global. I skipped him. If I get him on the free pull for like Iroha, then maybe cool. Noele, I'm waiting definitely for his burst plus banner because at the moment right now he's decent, but I would rather have him when he's a lot stronger and where he's actually like, really showing a lot of power. Like he's good right now, but he's exceptionally good later on, and it's also a good chance for me to save resources. So yeah, I'm skipping both of these guys for the time being on my global journey. So
That's
Actually, like in Rez's, sorry, but in like Rez's Discord, we were actually discussing Noele a little bit because I saw that people were undervaluing Noele like a lot because they didn't really know what he entailed, what he did, and they didn't have his kit, and they just heard that he's just not a must pull unit, which is true, and he's not Tifa obviously because who is, but like everything that Noele does is like really good right now. Like he has personal 5-hit follow up. Everything he does, as long as they're broken, he has 30% HP damage up personally. He has auras that people forget that he has auras. So like you can bring like a half support unit and him, and then they give you the amount of auras you need. And he breaks like on literally everything. And he's not like I heard the take that he's a worse Eald'narche, which is like not true at all. Because he does so much more than Eald'narche can do right now. So Noele is a very, very solid unit. If you got him, you don't have to pull for him, obviously, but he's a really, really great unit. And yeah, Eald'narche, like to highlight what you said, like I kind of said something like in my video, like he makes you have to play chess, but if you play the chess really well, then you're playing chess by yourself because the enemies don't do anything. So it can be really complicated to make the fight really boring. So it's kind of a weird scenario in that sense. That's why he's kind of a turn off for a lot of people.
I definitely like him as so first and foremost, I only have his LD. I don't have his burst. We'll see what happens on the Iroha banner with the free multi draws, and I am planning on using some tickets only because I didn't have her on the JP side of the game when she first debuted. But I just did the Caius Bahamut Lufenia right now. You know, the latest arc chapter. Lufenia, I call it the Megatron. He transforms into Megatron. He looks like freaking Megatron. And I brought he does look like Megatron, so I call it the Megatron fight. And I brought a friend support, Eald'narche. So I've always liked his terror gimmick, you know, stopping the enemies from attacking you. I know that I used him when I think it was for his lost chapter with the Beatles, or yeah, it had to be his with the terror. That definitely came into play. Just stopping the enemy from attacking you and buying you some time is definitely useful, in my opinion. And having him as a friend support, having the warp on the enemies, he literally can extend the amount of uses you have him. So 5 uses. Whenever he warps in front of the enemy, that's a free turn that doesn't count against as the friend support timer. So I probably ended up using him for like an additional like four extra turns, because I kind of screwed up the turn order and where I used him. But I definitely like him
longer than that.
Yeah, he could go longer for that, but I definitely screwed up the setup for him when I brought him in, because I didn't go into his phase shift. I used his I forgot his EX ability, so of course the enemies didn't get terrored, and I was like, damn it, I screwed up, so I just wasted 2 turns. The Lufenia was still done, but still, just him having those capabilities, I like what he does. I'm very excited what he's going to do in the future in terms of his Crystal level 90 and his Burst Plus. I could definitely see him getting a rework, and of course with the Crystal level 90, just more damage with his EX ability. So I'm kind of hoping that I do get his burst weapon, just so I could take full advantage of that, and especially pair him up like with someone like Aroa, who can have your units keep 20% of their brave with her party-wide buff, because like Jin was saying, whenever he warps, you're ideally going to be using his upgraded HP attack, so just having the extra brave on him definitely helps out a lot. For sure. All right, guys. So the next thing that we do have is that we did have a recent lost chapter, and that was with Strago. How was your pulls for Ashe? How do you guys feel about Ashe?
Who wants to start?
How about Rez?
I guess
Oh, go ahead, 40.
Yeah, Rez for. Okay. So I was originally gonna skip this banner, but I got the itchy trigger finger that wanted to pull, and I saw my ticket count, and I was like, I'm at 227 tickets. What if I go 17 tickets doing singles, and let's see what happens? And I got the LD. So there you go. But I originally was gonna skip this banner. I already have Strago's LD. I think Ashe is great. I honestly think she's awesome. I love the enchant and the whole Queen's Order and charging up the EX. I think it's fantastic. Did we just lose somebody on the call? Yes, we did.
Wait, who did we lose?
I think it was Jin. I heard. Okay.
Did...
Anyways, no, I think she's fantastic. And anyone that's pulled her, she is a very good utility unit. And she's also a great call. Queen's Order is awesome. So if you like those characters that messes with the turn order and also, charges up your EX and gives you the enchant for 2 different elements, she does it. She's great. I think she's really good. Yeah. But I pulled with 17 tickets because I got tempted. So I guess I'll be enjoying Ashe again, like I did with my JP account.
Very nice. Congrats on the 17 tickets. Rez, how about...
beat there.
Oh. What happened, Jin?
Rez can say.
Yeah. Jin, why are you louder?
Am I louder? I had to reconnect.
You're like, okay, all right. I needed to mute you on Skype. Yeah. So I.
Ouch.
She just muted you.
It was echoing. It was echoing.
Sorry, Jen.
Yeah, so FF12 is in my top 3 favorite Final Fantasies. I played it for the first time a little over a year ago. And I loved using Ashe when she first got her EX, when she was one of my very first 35 CP characters. But when I spent those 300 tickets on Noele and didn't get anything, I was just like, okay, well, I could have used those tickets on Ashe, so fuck me, right? So I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was praying to get it on the free, and then I was like, all right, well, I know that I'm not gonna be able to not pull on this banner, so I just kind of resolved to use all of my remaining 177 tickets on her. So I did the free pull and I got an LD, but it was Strago, who is an amazing unit. I fucking love Strago. That's why I went gems from the first time. I just already had him. So I saw the little LD, I saw the LD like background or whatever, and I had like a fake out or something, just like what happened every fucking time that I saw the little EX background and I was pulling for Aranea, that all those months ago. And so I was very upset because it was very roller coaster. But then the first ticket I did was a gold orb, and it was Ashe LD. So I was very, very happy about that. She seems like I've already had so much fun using her, and I really like her kit. It's very versatile, and I realized that of all the like full Final Fantasy casts that we have, FF12 is the first one that I've got fully purpled.
Nice. Did you buy the costume?
Oh, fuck yes, I did.
So like, of course I did.
Well, the only reason to
The
pull
second I got that LD, I opened up my wallet to get that costume.
I purpled Fran. Come on, J-Dot.
You take that back,
Take
J-Dot
that back. I purpled Fran
Get
too.
out. Fran is my girl.
Oh damn.
We all agreed to ban J.A, right?
All right, here we go. How about yourself, Jen? How was your pulls on the Ashe banner, if you did pull for her?
I mean, I obviously pulled for FF12 waifu. Yeah, on my free pool, I got like the entire Strago starter kit, which I already had him. So that was like, why couldn't I have gotten this pool on like someone I didn't have stuff for? But then, yeah, it only took 20 tickets after that. So that was amazing because I was willing to go like really deep for her, at least 300. I think all of us here, we all luck sacked and we stole the luck from like Eald'narche was the shout out to Eald'narche. He had the worst.
Sorry.
He had like pools like reminiscent of my Fran pools where he had spent like 745 tickets and then pitied the EX afterwards. That's devastating. So hopefully the shout out makes him feel a little bit better.
Oh my god.
But that was awful. But yeah, like in terms of Ashe, I love her kit. She brings a lot of things to the kit. The only thing that she kind of is hampered by is her speed, and you kind of like feels a little awkward when you want to time the HP plus to charge everyone's EX. You kind of want to wait until they use their EX and then you use it right after.
I've been in some of those situations. So far on the global side, I did bring her to the Strago fight, and I know that there was some situations where I had to wait to use her upgraded HP attack after using her LD because some of my other units had their EX abilities up and running. For sure, but
yeah, sorry, my internet is a little bit flaky right now. I don't know when I dropped, but yeah, it's a little bit awkward to time that HP plus and then. But if she does pair really well with like units who have strong EXs. So
Garland.
She's my Kadaj bootleg EX.
There you go.
There you go.
Easy fix. Ashe and Kadaj. What bug? Non-existent. So I will say that I did get her LD for free. I was on.
Oh my god, we all luck
Yeah,
sacked.
we all really did luck sack.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit concerned for my Cloud of Darkness. My Porom pulls, I'm a little bit concerned there, but we'll see how that goes. But I got it for free, and I didn't.
Mine was the worst pool. 20 tickets was the worst pool among us. That is insane.
That's why you disconnected early, because 40 said he got in 17 tickets, and you're like, F this, and you left. I see what happened.
I mean, I was raging for all the tickets I lost there.
Yeah, that's right. But I I brought her to the Strago Lost chapter. I enjoyed using her. I couldn't do that one on the JP side of the game. It was rough because I didn't have her. And I am looking forward to using her. I didn't pick her up until later down the line. And I mean, so far, so good. Again, I just enjoyed what she does to elemental enchants towards the party while imperiling those same elements, while also boosting your party's damage with magic and physical. HP healing and her LD buff. So yeah, not bad. Not a bad unit overall, truthfully. So yeah, we'll see how that goes on the global side of the game. All right, guys. So what else do we have? Ooh, guys, we have a pretty good lost chapter incoming, and that is going to be Kurasme. If you don't have them yet, do you guys have Kurasame's LD already?
Yes.
I mean, I will always remember my Kurasame pulls, right, Jin?
That's a lie. That was one of my worst pulls.
Wait,
The Dash beat it. The Dash beat those pulls, but that was terrible.
Please share this story, 40.
Oh no, that was one of the pool battles I did with Jin, where, well, to be fair, he also slaughtered me on Celeste, but I completely slaughtered him in that one. But he did get walls burst. He did get walls burst, so that was nice. But the thing is, he never got the Kurasame EX or LD during those pulls, so it was pretty painful in terms of that. But he did get the wall burst, which did make up for it.
Yeah, I had to go back in with tickets to get the EX for LD, and then I tokened the other one. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
You did get your revenge. You did get your
So
revenge.
many fucking ciphers on that banner. I think I spent like 400 tickets on that banner, and I got like 8 Seifer EXs. Fuck you, Seifer. My God.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
I'm hard skipping that banner.
But Seifer does get better, that's for sure. With his LD, he's a lot of players are going to call him like a mini Garland, because he will have the capabilities to delay the enemies. I've heard it before. I have a feeling he's going to be called the same thing. They're going to call him a mini Garland.
It's a very solid banner for people without Kurasame, because Kurasame's call is OP. He's just like Jack's call. He's gonna be hyped up as like a pool for the call kind of person, because it's just you apply his debuff, and that debuff is amazing. HP damage up as a call. It's pretty damn good.
And with his LD boards, for those not so, Kurasame, he is for those of you not familiar, he is a character from Final Fantasy Type 0. I think 40, you were playing it too recently, right? You were streaming it.
Yeah, but I kind of lost interest after like the beginning. I'll eventually find motivation to play it again.
But those first like 10 minutes, oof, they hit pretty hard. But Kurasame is a pretty good character overall, and he is going to be receiving LD boards. He has had his LD in the game already, so the main difference now is that he's going to get his LD boards. Long story short, he has the capabilities to increase HP damage an enemy receives. He can reduce the enemy's ice resistance down. This is an all-in-one debuff called Hyodo. And once he gets his LD boards, he will have the capabilities to enchant your party with ice, while also increasing their elemental weakness damage up. So your party members are going to be hitting harder, and I will say that his call action is probably one of those staple call actions that you're going to be seeing. You're going to be seeing in a lot of videos, especially if you watch JP videos after his Lost Chapter came out. You're going to be seeing him and Jack. Those are definitely 2 call actions that are staples in a lot of team compositions. And Jack is going to be making a comeback, a rerun, I think 2 months from now. No, next month in August, alongside, he's going to be on the next boss rush with Leon. So if you guys missed out on Kurasame, if you guys missed out on Jack, you might want to consider picking them up. Oh crap, I did log into Tales of Story earlier today, but I have to do that again, so. But
oh my god, that command.
Yeah,
oh
Dragon,
god.
Put it up.
Risphonia.
Yeah.
Who's Risphonia?
I don't know, Risphonia.
He didn't command. That's amazing.
Yeah, they did it.
That's amazing. Seriously, did you log in today? Did you fucking log in today,
Oh
Lidz?
shit! I'm gonna hide now. Goodbye. I might accidentally disconnect too. I logged in the morning. I got to do for the new login, so it'll either be tonight or tomorrow. But back to opera. Yeah. So pull for the Kurasme banner if you don't have them. I mean, Seifer is good also. So, all right, guys. So the next thing that we do have up, and this is probably one of the most important banners to date, is going to be the next Transcendence banner, Transcendence 3, and we are going to get a very powerful character. She is going to be receiving her LD, and that is going to be Sephiroth. It's gonna be Porom. Sephiroth. It's gonna be Sephiroth, of course. Y'all saw we were gonna talk about Porom. Hell no, it's gonna be about Stripperoth. Buy his costume. He's gonna get gold frame debuffs. All right, his cellular degeneration. Yes, staple. Who's Jack? Right. It's all about Sephiroth. No, but it is gonna be Porom. Now, how ham do you guys think players should go for her?
Pity.
I'm gonna pity her.
Everyone's already overhyped her so much that almost everyone has her as a planned pity, even if they don't know what she does.
I actually know very little about what she does. I just know that she's pretty essential.
She's one of those units that people that like is useful for getting you through Lufenia Plus if you are trying to fill out a team.
So Porom,
and is trolling. No, obviously Porom is. I mean, there are units that people have highlighted that you should pull for, like Porom, Agrius, Setzer for Lufenia Plus, but you don't have to pull them. But it is nice to have them in your back pocket if you can afford them. So a lot of people are planning to pity her. It's not a bad choice for sure.
40, your thoughts?
She's one of those characters. I mean, I hyped her up too because I used her a lot in early Lufenia Plus. Have still used her in current Lufenia Plus, but she is a band-aid character. This is a term that I think was coined by Black Cloud, Black Nero, where you come across a Lufenia Plus fight that has really annoying brave damage reduction and like mechanics that just like irritate the crap out of you, right? You throw Porom in and she fixes that for you. She's very powerful. That follow-up is definitely one of the reasons why she's so sought after, because she reduces brave based on current HP, which is why there's also the whole put HP artifacts on Porom, which I don't really agree with that because you're missing out on other things if you do that. But that follow-up, is really a lifesaver. This is the reason why she's garnering a lot of hype. She is very powerful. I'm planning on pitying. I think she's worth it. I enjoy band-aid characters where you could just slap them on your team if you're struggling, and they could help you get through some of the more difficult content in the game. And it really shows, what the developers can do with some of these characters, giving them like these unique mechanics to be able to get around certain things. So, yeah, I still use her to this day. So, but I do know that you could definitely beat Lufenia Plus without her. You can. Black Nero is living proof of that because he did not pull her and he was fine. But if you do pull her, she's very powerful, very valuable mechanics. So,
yeah, for sure. I know that we have some newer players that actually joined today, and someone is asking about a tank, but we highly recommend, if you're a newer player, don't skip Porom. The way I'm gonna put it is pull or quit. That's how I feel. She's no,
Wow.
that's a little bit
Wow.
extensive, but she is a very powerful character. She brings a lot of survivability to your team compositions, and you're going to be using her often into the Lufenia Plus era. I think just maybe I want to say like perhaps a month or two ago, like players stopped using her on team compositions. She blasted like at least I want to say like 3 months into the Lufenia Plus era. And if you guys remember, there was a lot of conflict. There was a lot of players that were not happy. They were not happy with the Lufenia Plus era when it first came out. And Porom definitely helped ease that. So, highly recommended character.
Try to say like a comparison, like Gladio was really hyped, right? As like a survivability unit that you could slot into your team at the time of his release, and people have made Gladio used a lot, and they used him to cheese fights, obviously, and to save their team from getting smacked around. But I personally didn't use Gladio like hardly at all, even though I pitied him. But it was just because it was nice to have in my back pocket, and then he obviously came in clutch for the
pity
cheat.
Gladio.
Oh shit.
No, I said I went for it with gems is what I mean.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I
Like
spent more.
the potential of pity. Like I went with gems on Gladio just to have him in case.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say like Porom. You have to have Porom to get through the Lufenia Plus. That's never the case for anybody. But it's always she's a survivability unit that can help carry you if you don't have the right units for that fight. So it's a very good pickup if you can use it.
Yeah, she's definitely a powerful character, guys. So like they were saying, you don't need her, but she will definitely help with a lot of these contents. So this next powerful character that nobody should absolutely skip, and that's going to be Sephiroth. Sephiroth is going to be getting a rework, right? He's going to be getting LD boards. Nobody should skip him. He is the absolute best antagonist in the game. But on the reels, though, that's actually a pretty good banner also for newer players, only because of it does have 3 very strong characters. It does have Sephiroth, who becomes a better attacking type character. His LD call action actually does come in handy. His cellular degeneration, which increases your brave damage against that target. It is a debuff. We have Warrior of Light, who I would say, to this date, probably the best new player friendly character in the game. Just get his LD, of course, with the rest of his kit, not outside of the burst. You're going to be surviving a lot of content. It's going to be very hard to kill your team members unless you severely screw up. And we have Paladin Cecil, who to this day has amazing auras built into his kit. And even Paladin Cecil was used in, I would say, the early Lufenia Plus era because of his auras, what he can do for the team composition. So definitely a good banner for newer players. All right, guys.
Warrior of Light and Pecil is actually more useful for newer players than Sephiroth, even though he's the one coming back with the rework and he's the best character ever.
No, Sephiroth is the best character ever, hands down. Hands down. Let's be real.
Stripperoth.
I'm so sorry, Rez. We paid for him to take his shirt off. It's Stripperoth.
We really did.
He is a stripper.
I got it.
We need a stripper team.
I was at my family reunion over the weekend, and my cousins were all playing Smash, and one of my cousins selected Seth as this character, and I was thirsting. I was thirsting so hard. They're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you thirsting this hard after a character?" I'm like, "You didn't even make him take his shirt off." I was so mad.
Not yet. I would.
Who would make the stripper team? It would be Stripperoth and Fran and who else?
Ooh, that's a spicy.
Well, strips in this game.
Aranea is a stripper. She dances around a pole.
Yes, she does.
She put on more clothes though.
Yeah, that's true. We could get a shirtless team. We got Vayne with this costume. We got
Vayne.
Young,
Vayne.
Sephiroth. I'm sure we have a few.
I don't like that Vayne costume.
But
he looks too weird in the actual game.
He's like a chick.
With it. He looks much better It's not like Mocha Vein or whatever.
I swear there was another. Vaughn, he's almost.
Yeah, Vaughn. No, you
Right?
pay him to put his clothes back on.
He put his clothes back on. There you go.
Damn it.
Shirtless Gladio. There you go.
I mean, Daddy-O, he's kind of exposing his six-pack right there, so there's that.
Zadio.
He is. Yeah.
All right, guys, so the next topic that we are going to be talking about, and this is quite interesting, is going to be the upcoming Gilgamesh event. Now, those of you not familiar on the JP side of the game, this was a 6-person team event. So it almost like what, like Final Fantasy X almost. You got your 3 units, and then you picked your other 3 units on the back that you could rotate in. But there was a co-op that happened alongside, and JP players were not happy about this. JP players were not happy about this because in order for Gilgamesh's rate to appear, which you received, I think they're like Gilgamesh tokens to exchange for Gilgamesh token specific rewards. To increase his rate, you had to have Layles with his LD and burst, if I remember correctly.
It was his burst.
It was his burst? Okay.
Yeah.
It was his burst, so players were not happy about that, but they switched that over on the JP side of the game. Joshua did confirm when a viewer asked them if they would change for the global side of the game, and he said it wasn't going to be a 6-person team. I guess once it truly comes out, we'll see. And the rate for Gilgamesh to appear is based on, what was it, the difficulty of the stage? But how do you guys...
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think
Yeah,
The level.
Mhm.
The level of the stage, yeah.
Okay, so how do you guys feel about that? First and foremost, them changing it from a 6-person team composition to, I mean, if it is going to be for real, like to just your standard 3-party team.
That was probably the best decision that they've made on something that was not received well. Because the other thing that was not received well on JP was how they were originally gonna make reworks part of the artifact system. Remember with the whole cursed artifacts? And then they fixed that because that was received so
what?
poorly. Yeah, so when cursed artifacts were first introduced, that was supposed to be how reworks were supposed to be like structured, and people were unhappy with that, which is why they scrapped that idea. And it's the same thing with a 6-person co-op requiring Layle's burst. Like,
Wow.
honestly, when I played on JP, I'm like, there's nothing special about this other than that I have Layle's burst and I have a higher chance of seeing Gilgamesh. Like, I don't see the point. Like, even when I was playing co-op, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna swap my character, which is you're probably gonna run either Kais or Layle. That's like the common like 2 characters that you're running in co-op. I didn't see the point. I'm like, what's the point of this? Like, I thought maybe like the boss would have like an enormous amount of HP, or when I heard 6-man co-op, a 6-man like quest, I thought it was gonna be like a tower event, right? Like kind of like in, for example, Final Fantasy IV, when like one of the secret bosses for the complete collection, you fought against the actual, I think, was it Proto-Babel or something like that? And like you had like separate parties taking on different parts of him. That's what I thought it was going to be. And then I saw it and I'm like, yeah, or like that, like Boss Rush, right? And I'm just like, what is this? I don't get it. Like, how is this special? Other than that, I'm swapping characters that I'm playing and hoping for Gilgamesh to appear because I have Layle's burst. Like, it was a mess of an event. You know, I think it was one of those like, let's try something new, but it just did not go over well. Yeah. I'm glad that they're changing in global. I'm really glad that they're changing it and making it a lot more manageable and a lot more straightforward and not overly complicated with the whole 6-man co-op. You know, I think they need to revisit that idea and like improve it and like do some kind of like a tower event or something like that, or like a super special raid boss where you have like multiple parties or something like that. That's what I think they should do with it. But yeah, I'm glad they're fixing it. I'm glad they're changing it.
I mean, I always appreciate that they take feedback from JP and then they try to not let it happen to global.
Mm-hmm.
So we always got to thank Beta Game for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the main issue was not just that you required a burst for a higher drop rate, but I think the drop rate was really, really low if you didn't have the burst.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was like actually a decent drop rate, then I don't think it would have been that big of an issue. But I think the fact that it was such a low drop rate. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like a really low drop rate if you didn't have his burst. So like it was really requiring his burst. That was the main issue with that Gilgamesh stuff.
I don't know if you guys recall Joshua saying this during the stream that it was, so first and foremost he said that it was no longer going to be a 6-person team, but he also kind of mentioned when he was talking about the appearance rate for Gilgamesh, I thought I heard him also say that there's going to be other factors that are going to come into play besides the difficulty of the stage that are going to assist or increase Gilgamesh's appearance rate. Do you guys think they're going to circle back to that you guys have to have Layle's burst weapon for that to happen? I swear I heard it and I was like, oh shit. I'm hoping it's just synergy.
On the slide, it just says chance of encountering Gilgamesh increases based on quest level and nothing else.
Okay, I know.
I think there would be like an outrage or revolt or something if they didn't change that.
Right, for sure. And of course, me on the JP side of the game, that's when I decided to just take a break. So I only heard stories about the 6-person co-op thing. I'm on the same page as 40. Something like that would be interesting to try out, as he was saying, just swapping out teams, kind of like a climbable tower. I mean, I guess we have Dimensions End, but something like that would. I guess we also have boss rushes too. Gosh damn it! But I do love the fact that they tried something new. It didn't work, and I'm glad that Global is trying to fix it, but I still want to encourage them to keep trying different things, because I still believe that this game needs different types of game modes. Hold on. Mino is saying that her Josh said in main core that they changed the requirements for increased Gilgamesh rate from Layle burst to Layle cost. Oh. I kind of bought that a long time ago. I already have it, so
I have it too. So
100% appearance rate with the costume. This game just became pay to win.
Obviously, that's not true. Obviously, not true. For those who don't understand sarcasm,
it's sarcasm. It's funny. So
Mino's being silly.
Oh crap. Gosh damn it. All right, guys. So we're getting near the tail end of this stream. So have your questions prepared. But there is one more thing. And this is going to be pure freaking speculation. Joshua said, do not miss the next stream. What the shit is going to happen?
Please let it be ready at Global First LD. Please.
Global
First
LD.
already know, like, basically isn't getting it because she's probably going to get on Shulk's last chapter. So it has to be ready. I swear to God, if it's Seymour, I will fucking riot.
Okay, so we know how Rez feels about the situation.
I was hoping it'd be Rem, but she's also coming soon in JP, so it's not going to be Rem. But most people assume it's going to be a GL first something, because Josh, whenever he has the freedom to hype something, it's always been actually something big. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be something we would enjoy. I guess something big. It wouldn't be like something like small for him to say something like that.
Yeah.
What do you think? For
the last time he hyped it, it was Vincent. That was mixed reviews, but I mean he did hype a Geo first the last time he did something like this.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's a Global First LD with an Abyss. I was talking about this on my stream earlier this afternoon and also on my stream last night. I think they're going to do a Final Fantasy XIV Global First LD, and the reason why is because Final Fantasy XIV has been garnering a lot of popularity recently. As you guys know, we've had a few creators, one of them being a part of the DFFOO community, which is Josepher, being chosen for like a Twitch sub gift thing with like FF14. They even had like Asmongold, who's a WoW player, like play 14 and did that whole thing. And because of all of this hype for FF14, I personally think that if I was a Square Enix employee trying to plan out for a Global First LD for Dissidia and to try to garner as many new players as they can, that they would release a Final Fantasy XIV Global First LD. So who do we have? Lise, Alphino, Alice, and Thancred. So any one of those characters, especially I think Thancred and Alphino are probably the most popular ones in that list of 4. I think one of those 4 is probably going to be the Global First LD, just based on taking a look at the rest of Square Enix's games and products and what's been succeeding so far and what they've been heavily promoting. That's what I think it's going to be. In my heart, I want it to be Rydia LD, which I mean, I would insta pity. I would like buy as many gems as I can if I go broke with resources. But from a business standpoint, I think an FF14 Global First LD is probably more so on the horizon. That's what I think. I think it's going to be an FF14 character, just based solely on the fact of how well FF14 has been doing.
That would be. I would love Thancred with an LD weapon. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know he got his 3 out of 3 around when Word of Light got his burst, I believe, and I was like, yeah, no, this is so bad. So I can't. I'm very excited for Thancred to receive an LD. I can't wait for that. But I mean, yeah, him saying that, I do also believe that it's possible that we could get another Global First LD right before the Lufenia Plus era. I feel like that would be a good opportunity to do that. So I guess we'll see what happens during the next...
Few people have like wondered like if it would be like with LD boards, or
so
it's gonna be with LD boards if they give us a GL first. At this point,
I think
they will not give us a non-LD board.
Right. I think they would. I think, of course, at this point, we would get LD boards because on the JP side of the game, we have been seeing a lot of these characters receive Crystal level 90s and LD board adjustments. So we can get a less powered version compared to what the JP side of the game would receive. So it's possible. Oh, yeah.
I can almost guarantee if we get a GL first LD, they will come with boards. It would make like 0 sense. It would be so stupid that they didn't have boards.
No, they didn't
have.
Like
just because Vincent and Balthier didn't have them, like LD boards had just barely come out at that point. Like, oh, Edge.
What's up, baby Edge?
Hi, Edge.
He's not feeling well, so he wants to join.
Oh, I'm sorry. Edge. Who do you think it's gonna be? Edge? Rydia Global First LD.
He's gonna call Edge. He wants Edge.
Edge Global First LD.
Edge Global First LD.
Need some FF4 love. Hi, Edge.
Can you say hi?
Hi, yo.
Oh my God,
adorable.
you're so cute.
Hi,
We just received our 5th host, so there we go.
I originally thought Edge was named after Edge from Final Fantasy IV.
Me too.
Edgeworth.
Edgeworth for the win. Ace Attorney life. Great Ace Attorney at the end of the
Oh, yeah.
So freaking cute. It's all good for you. It's all good, fam. So, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But yes, Global First LD character, LD boards would be a thing.
Yeah.
Based on
for all those who plan their resources and stuff, earmark 75k just in case. You know?
Yeah, I hope, but I mean, so you're saying, save 75k gems. I hope that said character will be powerful enough to entice characters to pull from them, because if this character is going to come out in August, once we're in August, we're literally 2 months away from the Lufenia Plus era. And because of that, I feel like content creators or any Opera Omni players, truthfully, can be a little bit more harsh on this Global First LD character, because if we don't feel like their kit is strong enough to carry or to support some of these characters in the Lufenia Plus era, why pull for him or them? He or she.
So far, I've noticed that they've been pretty good at releasing a balanced GL first after like the monsters that were Aranea and Beatrix. So I think if they're doing a GL first at this time, they'll probably keep it in mind, and I'm pretty sure, or it should be relatively strong, like you said, so that it can go into the Lufenia Plus era if they need to.
Right, like they'll almost definitely do LD boards. Do you think they would also do like a base kit rework if it's needed?
I think from a programming standpoint, that might be difficult for them. So I don't think so personally, but I feel like they would need to. So it's hard to say. I don't really know the inner workings, but like if they bring somebody really old, yeah.
Onion Knight didn't get a base
You-
kit rework with his Crystal level
It
9.
really
did he?
depends. Yeah, like they can really jack up the LD. They can really jack up the LD so that like follow-ups obviously are a thing. So like Noel's LD gave him follow-ups, which really helped him out. You know, but he also got a rework obviously. But I mean, like follow-ups are a thing. HP damage up, personal HP damage up is a thing. They can give auras, obviously brave things like Porom has, for example, that make her OP. You know, I'm sure there are many ways to make a kit OP through the LD only. So we'll see. I'm definitely looking forward to it though.
I hope they're strong because next month the gems are competing because we have Setzer also coming out in August, and Setzer is a very powerful character with his LD buff that he gives to his allies or the party, I should be saying. So that character better be freaking strong to entice players to use their gems on the global first.
I think there'd have to be a very utility worthy character, somebody that has a great utility. Is the only kind of units that last longer than normal.
Right, for sure. So we'll just have to wait and see. But definitely, definitely hype moment. If you guys don't hear from us before then, and if you guys are still undecided, I would wait. Literally wait, because the banner is going to be up for a few days. Literally wait a few days, watch content creators' videos to see if it is a global first LD, if they are the right fit for you, and to see what said thoughts about said character is. All right, you don't have to pull right away. You can wait and see if players feel like said character is strong enough for you to use your gems for. So, all right, guys. So we're pretty much at the tail end of the stream. We're not trying to go 3 hours again because some of us are on different time zones, so it is question time. So we do have a few questions already, but feel free to ask any questions, and if we can get to it, we will. Who put these questions in right here? The doc.
Blobs, I put them in.
Okay.
My Discord. So
start it off.
Yeah, recently on, and thank you, Blobs. Recently on JPN Global, there have been a lot of reused bosses. Like in Abyss, we tend to see the same bosses. Most recently, Intertwined Will, where Yuri had the, God, I never know how to pronounce this, the skeletons, whatever. With that being said, are you currently satisfied with the current boss models the game has?
Rez, I think we lost you. Oh wait.
Strong opinion.
We can hear.
Okay, I think that was just my sound then. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Lidz, you shook your head pretty strongly there.
I know for the longest time I wasn't really happy that a lot of these bosses were recycled, because I know there's a lot more bosses that we could potentially see in Opera Omnia. I know that they have been introducing some new bosses here and there. Some of them are just reskins of previous bosses that we have had in the game. I would just love to see other types of bosses. Although I know, I guess from a budget standpoint, it's cheaper to just reskin some of or program some of these bosses in the game. I can't tell you how many freaking behemoths I fought in this freaking game. You know, oh my gosh. A lot of freaking behemoths in the damn game, right? How many of these lich skeletons that we've been fighting since the beginning of time of when Opera Omnia was first conceived? But there's definitely other bosses that I believe that would make amazing raid events, like the weapons from Final Fantasy VII. Where's Ruby weapon? Where's Emerald weapon? I would love to see those characters here in the game as a very difficult boss fight. So Hell House. Where the hell is Hell House? That would
where's the Toneberry?
Yeah, where's the Toneberry? The Jedi Toneberry from
Final
Fantasy
Where's the Toneberry?
Where is the Toneberry? Just slowly creeping up to you with the chef's knife. 5 turns if you don't do anything.
Master Pug.
Done. So
hey, where's Ultros?
Now that you mentioned that, wouldn't that be awesome if they had like some sort of permanent content that was like a super boss or something? Like when it's released, it's not meant to be beaten, and then like the better characters you get, the more you can try at it and beat it. That would be pretty interesting, I would think. now that you mentioned like ultimate weapons and things like that.
Right. And who played Final Fantasy 11? What was that really difficult boss before they nerfed that? It took you like a week to beat or something like that. Where's that character in the game? That boss. So Absolute Virtue. Thank you. You know. Where's that in Opera Omnia? So there's just plenty of bosses I believe that would be amazing in Opera Omnia as just like really hard, difficult bosses to fight. Or even like different stages. Oh, the potential. So what do you guys think?
I agree. I'm tired of seeing the same bosses reused or reskinned. I want to see something new. Like for real. There's other enemies out there. Like on it, like what Blobs brought up with the whole Lich and skeletons. Because I did that earlier this afternoon. I'm like, wait, this is the Lufenia boss? But wasn't this like one of the earlier bosses that we fought? Why is this a Lufenia boss again? So I was just kind of like, I guess, you know, I kind of want to see something else, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, it'd be nice. At least put the Tonberry in. That's such an enemy.
I'm still surprised it's not in yet.
Yeah.
It's gonna be super OP Tonberry.
Yeah, it's gonna one-shot you like as soon as the battle starts.
It has a one orb the moment the
There we go.
the battle starts. You take one action and it ticks.
There we go. I
There
think
we
the
go.
rest is Tonberry. Yeah, there we go.
It's Halcyon's, but he lets me keep it up here.
Nice.
Nope,
along
it's
with
yours
all
now.
my other
It is
weapons.
yours now.
I don't have mine here. Oh well, it's not in my room.
I only got the chocobo somewhere behind me. Up there it is, right there. Just staring at me, creepy like. Ooh. So we have another question. This one's an interesting one. So, following that, are you still fond of the soundtrack that's being used for burst characters and fights?
Yeah.
I would say that I'm tired of like all the music in Opera Omnia. So like I have the music off like all the time. And I want the option to actually turn on the burst music only, because that's the only thing that I would actually care to listen to, because it's the same summon music all the time, the same other tracks all the time. So I actually don't even listen to the burst music because I have all the music off.
Rez?
There's some, I usually play with the sound off. There are some boss tracks that I love, and those are the ones when like when I do have the volume on and I use a burst, I'm like, oh shoot, I wish I'd put on the setting that doesn't make the burst music continue. But most of the time I'm like, okay, the burst music is way better than this. Summon music is still so old. I wish like that could just get overridden or something. But yeah, I mean, I love all the boss music in Final Fantasy is so good. So it's always fun I always thought it was a really nice touch for that to be for burst characters to like have the boss music from their own game when they use it.
I would love it if they can allow us to customize the music,
Yeah.
because they have all the tracks, so we don't have to keep listening to the same things over and over again.
Man with the machine gun. Hello.
Heck
Let's
yeah.
go. Where my,
You
glow,
guys
where my
are-
glow sticks at?
In DFFOO.
Heck yeah.
Oh man.
You know what they should do with summons when you activate them is, instead of playing the generic summon music, have it play the song where you actually battle them in like the divine fight or like the ultimate fight. Like freaking Leviathan's theme, it's like you want to go disco dancing with that, you know? It's like
You don't
like
glow
have that
sticks?
play. What's up? You know, yeah,
You don't have
exactly. You
glow
know,
sticks?
glow sticks. Yeah, like have that play rather than the basic like Dissidia summon theme. It's like, okay, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That would be pretty cool.
I'm probably the complete opposite of my fellow co-host, because I've always loved the Final Fantasy music. I don't mind the music in game. I always tell my viewers like I'm in the damn I'll be in the damn kitchen. I'm a dumbass for this. I'll just be singing the damn songs. I don't know the damn words. Right? It's like when the character pops out, I'll just be singing along, like, yeah. And I like when I used to go into downtown for work, like I would forget to play and the music would just be playing in my headphones. So I don't mind it. I love that the burst music. It sucks that you can't use it right away, obviously, because of the burst effect. You want to save it during opportune moments. But that's a nice way to just switch up the soundtrack, especially if it's like a hype one, like Clouds, for example, right? The Final Fantasy VII boss fight soundtrack. So you're going in, you pop it like, let's freaking go, let's do this. It gets you hyped up for that last portion of the fight. So I can see some of the arguments for that, give us the opportunities to just pick different songs. But me personally, on a different level, I've always liked the Final Fantasy music, the Opera Omni music. I truthfully don't mind it.
So you're saying, like, when you're on the bus going to work and you hear the Dissidia song playing, you're like, on the bus, you're like, massive explosion, cry of sorrow, like out of nowhere. That's you,
is
right?
Is that
Lidz?
what they say? I just like
that's exactly what they
words.
That's
those
the
are
lyrics
the
to Shiva.
actual those are the summon musics though, which are actually pretty good. But like that generic summon music, that's what Lidz be singing to. He loves those, right?
I'll be just walking in the streets of Chicago.
Exactly. Or like he's like unbroken silence, because the lyrics are like so like I don't understand the lyrics, to be honest. It's really weird. But yeah, that's Lidz right there. He's walking down wherever you're, downtown, just singing.
Yeah, like I'm not like I've gotten the chills just from like listening to the music. It's like it gets me pumped up. I want to freaking murder a cactuar. I don't know. So, oh geez. So all right, next question. Gosh damn it! If you guys see a question, feel free to pick one. Links are disabled in here just because I've seen other content creators
He's just trying to share a Jeff link.
Okay.
Like a Jeff music link.
Gotcha.
I used to push all my content on Lidz's streams, so he stopped it. Links.
Okay.
There we go.
Yes, my mods have. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. So, all right. Feel free to ask any question, guys, as long as it's Opera Omni related and appropriate, and we will get to it if we can. So,
the Laguna theme song is coming with his burst. Everyone knows,
So, all right.
I mean, hype.
What is your guys' favorite burst effect music to date, including JP? If you guys have heard it.
Burst effect.
Burst effect music, the background music.
One Winged Angel, probably.
One Winged Angel.
Ooh, come on now. Gosh damn it. But, Jack, come on.
One Winged Angel.
You have to go with Locke.
Up there.
Locke?
I'm gonna have to go with Locke, because he's so unique in that he was a DLC character from NT, and the fact that he has a burst and he's currently the best character on JP. I really like how that I forgot what his theme was called. Was it the Returners theme or something? But it's dope and it's super cool. Yes, that one. It's super cool.
Oh, I love that track.
Yeah, that one is pretty dope. Yeah, that's a dope song.
No, checks for me. I'm pretty sure once Laguna comes out with his burst weapon, it is going to be just fire, man.
Man with the machine gun.
Man with the machine gun is gonna be OP.
Oh, dude, yeah. Everyone's
Tifa
gonna.
burst. I need that now, please.
Yes.
With
Noele burst and Tifa burst.
With freaking Desperado. Oh man.
Heck yeah. But if Tifa does get a burst, they're not going to play her theme. Her theme is too soothing.
Her team
It's
is
like-
too soothing.
It's like you see her going, "Oreredo," and then it's like, "Da, na, 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 na." I think they should play the piano theme from Advent Children when she like duked it out with what's his name again? Where is
Laws?
Mother? That guy.
Laws, right?
Laws.
Was it Laws? Yeah, they should play that.
was awesome.
Don't cry, Laws. Oh, I can't wait to see
Yeah,
them in
that-
this freaking game.
Yeah. He needs a buff called "Where's Mother?" because I mean that's his line.
Mikasa. That's
Yeah, exactly.
Great. This one is an interesting question that I just copy and pasted over here. What gameplay mechanics would you like to see next? Do you guys mind if I take this one first?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
So one gameplay mechanic that I would love to see them continue on using is what they did with Pain on the JP side of the game, and that is going to be the positioning of them in terms of the like in the middle, the left, or the right. So Pain received an LD weapon on the JP side of the game, a rework, and depending on where she's at, if she's in the middle, left, or the right, she is going to have different benefit towards the party. I forget which position. I think left side was more debuffs towards the enemies and right side was more buffs towards the party. And in the middle was the best of both worlds. I love that they experimented with that. I love that that is a thing, and I really love, and I'm hoping that that is something that they continue to do as we progress in the game, because that introduces a brand new strategy in Opera Omnia.
Right. It's an additional strategy, but you'd have to do that with like many characters, and then it starts being like how you arrange your party lineup. If it's only Pain, then it's just where do you put her? So if you have like on every character, then it would make a difference between how you arrange all three party members. That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
I feel like if they do it with a few characters and have them, have the capabilities to manipulate that, that would be kind of cool. Like an idea that kind of popped up at some point was like, let's say for example, like Rem, she's going to be getting an LD weapon, a rework, crystal level 90. Like what if she got introduced with an LD mechanic buffs, something along the lines of Pain, but she had the capabilities to kind of, move her to a different slot. That's just an interesting idea that I feel like they could definitely play around with and take advantage of as the game progresses, just to really bring that new level of thinking in Opera Omnia, So just something that I love, and possibly for them to hopefully continue as the game progresses.
I like Lord Touch Me. That's a nice username as always. His idea of team bonus synergy, if you use like characters from the same Final Fantasy, that they get like a stat boost or something, that'd be pretty cool.
That would definitely be pretty cool, because it would definitely make series characters more viable, like Final Fantasy VII, Tripperoth. We got Aerith and Tifa. Let's make it a thing.
You'd be more inclined to pair your favorite Final Fantasy series units together.
For sure. Rez, what's something that you would like to see introduced in Opera Omnia? If any.
No, I'm trying to think. I think something that you brought up, Lidz, earlier, I think was like some difficult content in the game that's just there, but the stronger characters you get, the easier it becomes. So maybe, I don't know, like we just got something in Christoria where it's like you have 12 turns to deal as much damage as possible. And it's just like, if you die before the 12 turns, that's how much damage you deal. Like if it's just however much damage you deal. So it's open to all levels of content, but obviously the stronger your characters are, the higher you score. So I think that could be pretty interesting with like different different prizes, maybe like something daily for how much damage can you deal in like 10 turns. I also really like the idea of different bonuses being given to different party members depending on what game they're from, different bonuses for using certain characters, things like that. Trying to think of anything else. I think those are the main ones.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that would fall in line with like that super boss idea I mentioned. Like they have a permanent content.
Yeah.
In the super boss.
Yeah. Okay, it was you that mentioned it, not Liz.
Speaking about Super Bowl, Timothy was talking about possibly like a fight mechanic where something about forcibly removing one of your characters at random, kind of like I thought of like Ruby Weapon from Final Fantasy VII, but like swapping in with a character from your bench of your choice. You got your primary team, you got a backup team, and the boss forcing out one of your characters and then bringing one of those bench units at random. I mean, just the possibilities of what they could potentially do in Op Round, that would be really fascinating. 40, welcome back. What do you think, fam, about possible mechanics in Op Round?
Oh, sorry. Daddy duties.
It's all good. It's all good, bro.
I'm trying to think of what they could do.
I mean, I was thinking like, now that you mentioned about that party thing, like I loved like Final Fantasy X's gameplay mechanic, and I was like, as we progress and bosses maybe have higher chunks of health, longer fights, like we could have like a six party, like you have, and like when people die, another one comes in, or you can switch them out at will too. I think that would really complicate like team building and the fights, but it'd be very interesting if you can have a six party, 3 on the field at a time, and then you swap them out, kind of like Final Fantasy X, depending on what you need at that moment.
That would be fun. that would definitely be fun. I would love that. I think some other thing. I do believe that Opera Omnia does definitely need another game mode. I still think that this still falls under the whole game mechanic thing because, you know, as JP players, I'm pretty sure 40 can also see the same thing. Is that honestly, guys, we're going to be doing the same damn thing. Like JP, we're still doing the same damn thing. Co-ops, taking down bosses, right? That's always been a thing, but I've always been, you guys might have heard me say this in previous podcast episodes, that I seriously think they need a resetting tower, you know, kind of like Tales of Krystoria, how Riz and Jen can talk from that standpoint, kind of like Last Claudia, where it's a resetting tower every single month where you take different teams to try to beat set contents, you get rewards, just something to keep the players interested still in the game instead of, oh, here's another event, let's just do a bunch of co-ops with players who might just do weird things, burst with lightning in the beginning of the fight, not do a damn thing, because I've been in those situations. I just seriously believe that they need to include another type of game mode. I really do believe that they need to include a different type of game mode.
Maybe there could be, like, you know, the challenges that they have during the streams. It's like themed battles or something. It's like, you know, 15 different characters with like ponytails or something like that. Like that, I think that was the most out there one. But that could be like a fun, like, monthly challenge thing. It's like over the course of the month, like beat this boss with, you know, 15 different characters that have XYZ. And it could be like, you know, from this game or something related to appearance or something. And just something, you know, like with, you know, fun extra rewards or something.
That sounds like a bad fight with people with small rosters.
Oh yeah, well that's why it would be like, you know, fun rewards, like not, you know, anything crazy.
People will always feel like they're missing out on something.
True.
I mean,
I get FOMO real bad. So
I mean, even with Lufenia content, if you're a newer player, technically you're missing out on content, or even with the challenge quest.
As a newer player, if they pool a lot, they feel like they can do everything right away. It's kind of the trap of gotcha. Right.
So if
you can immediately do Lufenia if you pull all the top characters on the banners right now.
Yeah, so if you're a newer player, listen to content creators and give it a year before you have a nice, juicy roster for your team compositions. All right, is there another question? Do you guys see? Do you guys like?
How do you guys feel about the ultimate weapons?
Oh. 40, have you built one yet?
I've been buying a copy of like each of them because the first copy you buy is 50 of the currency, and then afterwards the second and so forth is 150. So I haven't done that yet, but what I've done so far is I bought 5 of them. And right now I'm just hoarding. That's how I'm approaching it, unless like the character that comes out is a character I really, really like. Like, for example, it's rumored that Theodore is going to be the next burst character. So I'm debating if I want to buy a second short sword ultimate weapon, or if I want to just take the one off of Noctis and put it on Theodore. But I'm being very conservative about the Ultima currency, because you obviously cannot fully max limit break an Ultima weapon at the moment. But I like it. I think the system is cool. I think it gives players a way to like slowly build up to these weapons and not have to rush. I like how it's not locked to a gacha. It's actually something that you have to, play through the game and slowly work your way towards these weapons. I do think that they improve your damage, but I don't think they're a complete necessity where they really are a massive game changer. They do definitely improve your damage overall for that character, but they're not like a massive, like, oh my God, I need to have this right now, But they're fun. I think they're fun. I think they're really cool. And it's something that players can work their way towards that is not locked to a gacha.
It is a little bit locked to a gacha because you do have to use characters to beat these certain characters to get the materials. It's a little bit.
Yes and no.
That's true.
It's yes and no. It's not exactly like to get the weapon. You don't need to gacha it, but you do need to get materials for it. And the more characters you have, the faster you can get the materials.
I mean,
do you feel like it's like a whaling kind of like? What's the difference? Do you feel like for like people that get the Mog Pass, since it's tied to like the Premier Mog Pass, the materials, right? Do they have a big leg up compared to people that don't get the Premier Mog Pass?
Liz, have you noticed anything?
I'm actually not sure how much the difference is. I know that if you do have the Mog Pass, you get a few extra. I mean, just to circle back to the primary question is, I have yet to buy an Ultima weapon because I'm saving my stuff for Greatsword users, more specifically Sephiroth and Cloud. I'm hoping that they get their Burst Plus at some point. I actually heard a different rumor, 40, that a different character would get a Burst Plus, so we'll just have to wait and see who the next Burst Plus character is going to be. I'm hoping it is Cloud, but that's who I'm saving my Ultima weapon resources for. And I don't know, so we'll see. So I have yet to build one. I have yet to actually use one. So from right now, it's just from ear to ear from different other players. I do like what they do in terms of that. When you create one, any character of that weapon category can create it. Can equip it, and it increases their stats. So we'll see how this goes. Of course, it's going to take lots of time, as 40 was saying. It's just going to take time in terms of limit breaking these weapons to their maximum potential. So, but going back to the Mog Pass, I'm not sure how much extra you do receive by having the Mog Pass, but of course, those players that do have the Mog Pass do have a slight advantage. But I mean, just give it time. This is a gacha game. Just give it time, and of course, if you're free to play player, you will get there eventually.
I think it's 6 because I did do the I did the Yuri Intertwined Wills on stream earlier, and I recall getting like 6 extra from like doing the event. So I think it's 6 extra per event. I could be wrong on that, but I noticed that I got 6 extra from the Yuri Intertwined Wills. So if you just factor that in from every other event that has come out where they release that feature, then you could kind of get like an estimate of how much that you could get that's extra with the Mog Pass.
The fist lids for Tifa Burst.
Tifa Burst, yes, please.
Yeah.
This is an interesting question because I feel like I also answered this earlier. From Death Guys, is it recommended to still hoard purple tokens? So the armor tokens you receive from Lufeni content, or will we be getting more purple books and ingots in the future?
Wait, is it for the blue armors or is it for the just regular high armor?
I'm just gonna assume it's for the purple, just for the purple armors, not the blue armors quite yet. They said purple. Oh, for the blue armors. Oh, okay. Purple armors.
Is it worth holding on to them?
I wouldn't say like you don't have to hoard them, but you have to spend responsibly. It's just like anything else in the game. Like I have around 600 Lufenia armor tokens, but I've gotten them for everyone I want. So I wouldn't say I'm hoarding, but I've been spending like on who I wanted them for anyway, so
Crap, I got
I
like
don't use
60.
I don't use them like willy-nilly, that's for sure. Like if I'm not gonna use that character a lot or the armor isn't that good, like I'm not gonna get them. Like I didn't get Eald'narche's high armor, for example, because I don't think I gonna use him a lot. But like characters like if you
Oh, Jen, hello?
Jen.
Jen.
that is really slow right now.
Jen, I'm sorry, you cut off, fam.
You're back.
You mentioned Eald'narche and then you cut off. I think he might having some technical difficulties.
Oh.
I am the complete opposite of Jin Lee. I have been spending them for every single freaking LD character that I have received in Opera Omnia. The way I've always seen it, I know that you can exchange them for the nuggets for blue armors, but the way I've always seen it is just make sure that all your party members have the purple armor instead of just focusing on one character's blue armor. That's just the way I see it, me personally. That way everybody, they have their own increased brave damage cap, HP damage caps, and then if you can, then purple specific characters as the game progresses. I mean, it's been working for me on the JP side. It's been working for me on the global side of the game. Again, like every single freaking LD character that I have received so far, I have their purple armors for, and I'm still at 60 high guard armor tokens. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm more on the Jin side of things. I've been getting them for characters that I know will be using them, who I know will be using a lot. Tifa is still my only blue armored character because she's a queen. But I've got like 580, maybe 600. I have 600 Lufenia armor tokens right now.
Damn.
But I still get them for whoever, I know I'm going to want.
Okay. How about yourself, 40? How you doing on?
All up to personal preference.
So on my JP side, I went ham, and now I regret it because there's certain characters that I wanted to blue that I can't blue. But on global, like learning from my JP experience, what I'm doing is I'm prioritizing DPS, especially DPS that I know I'm going to use often, such as Tifa, because they really benefit from it, especially if their high armor already increases their own damage. And then afterwards, I go DPS and then I go favorites. Like, for example, I blued Golbez. He's a favorite, so I blued him. I blued Bartz because I like him too. He's also a favorite. And also, despite his armor being really selfish for a support utility unit, I actually wanted him to have a little bit more damage output for himself. So I gave it to him. And then so far, I'm saving. Like, I'm waiting to see who I'm going to use it next on. It might be Porom or maybe it might be Setzer. We'll see. But my global approach is DPS first and then favorites afterwards. And yeah, because they are like, I'm a whale on JP and I bought all the packs that actually have those, and I'm still struggling because I give high armor. I've been giving high armors to everybody, so I'm not gonna do that for sure on global. I'm gonna be a lot more conservative on global.
Also, I would add that
Hey, there he is.
keep in mind that like people that may get bursts or that you have their bursts, obviously prioritize them. Like Tifa is actually getting a burst too, so that's why it's good to blue her armor. Bartz is getting a burst plus coming back, so it's good to blue his armor. I wouldn't. The blue armors are the very least amount of resources we get right now, so you have to choose wisely.
Tifa does have quite the longevity now that we think about it, because we just got her. She does amazing damage, blew her armor. She is going to be coming back with the crystal level 90 J unit with the gifted sub to Dragoon. Thank you very much. But Tifa is going to be making a comeback with her crystal level 90, so she has usability again, and she's going to be getting a burst weapon. Definitely blue her armor. If you have yet to do so, what are you doing? Blue her armor. Just do it. Just do it. All right. Just do it.
Premium heart BT. They better give her premium heart.
even if there's a fave that you want to blue their armor, you have to check if it's really worth it for them and if you're going to use them a lot. Otherwise, it's still, I would consider that a waste.
I hope they give her the Machina treatment and her upgraded HP attack is going to be Star Shower. I would love to see that ability in the game. I would love to see Star Shower in the game. For those not familiar, it's one of her new abilities in the remake. I love the animation of it.
My most used move, easily.
They need to also have a special boss for the Tifa Burst release named Yang Xiaolong that we can all beat up over and over and over.
Oh,
to those that understand that reference.
No, why?
Because that DB left me really salty. As much as I like Yang, she shouldn't have won that. Everyone should understand. Tifa fans understand why that needs to happen or should happen.
How about just make it Don, what's his face? Don Corneo as the Lufenia boss. Come on, let's be real.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Smash him, rip him.
Smash him.
Rip him. That's what the name of the song is. Like the Tifa theme remix when they're like kicking ass is literally called Smash 'em Rip 'em. It's amazing.
Oh dear. That would be an interesting boss fight. Friggin' Don Corneo with his minions or whatever. That'd be interesting. All right, guys. Any more questions for tonight? Gosh damn it! I can't wait for Tifa Burst. There goes my gens. But I will say on the JP side of the game, all right, they're completely random. Nobody asked us, but I really think that we are going to be getting new weapons around October. Because how many LDs do we have left? Like 20 on the JP side of the game, give or take. So what are we going to be getting after that? New weapons. So if you're a JP player, I really think that you guys should be saving. So.
Yeah, very interesting. Well, the C90s obviously, and they're giving EX reworks now. They'll be giving EX reworks. Very interesting. I'm loving the era that where LD characters will just come back with the C90 and you don't have to pool if you already have them. I love those eras where you just don't have to pool hardly at all. If you already got all your favorites, they just come back and get better.
I definitely I agree with you 100%. I love the fact, and this was another thing that I was bringing up too. Like, I understand that the beginning of the Lufenia Plus era, at least on the JP side of the game, it was a pain in the ass. You really had to add specific characters. I have more faith on the global side of the game. We know what's coming. I would love to see what global players do in terms of experimenting. But at this point in the game, it did pan out in terms of what Jin was saying. A lot of these characters making a comeback with their crystal level 90s. They more damage, their reworks to their EX abilities, just what they can do. It's beautiful. And I think Beatrix, Mog was saying earlier that Beatrix was confirmed for later down the line on the JP side of the game. So I'm very excited for Beatrix to get her crystal level 90. And just what even when she gets her LD boards, like before this, she was Lufenia plus viable. So
I don't have her LD rip.
You'll get another opportunity to get it. So. Ooh, this one's
during my bad time. Bad pool time.
You'll get another opportunity to do so. But this one's an interesting question by Hirogashu Gaming. Reintroducing World of Illusion weapons for characters that don't have them.
Oh.
I mean, that would just be another tier of weapons to pull, right? But I think it would just be another tier of weapons because the World of Illusion weapons, either they have to completely rework the current ones and then remove that World of Illusion's weapon tokens abilities.
I mean, to be fair, some of these World of Illusion buffs, passives, they're percentage based, right? So they are
but like some of them weapons. Are awful. Some of them are awful, so they all have to be balanced.
Let's be real. Yuna's World of Illusion weapon is OP.
Oh my god, that is still one of the only weapons that's in my inventory that I don't have.
And like if they actually did that, then like global players would know ahead of time, and we would just like token all the. I mean, if you don't have them already, you just token all of them really quickly. You don't have to pool them. They would do a new tier of weapons instead of World of Illusion weapons.
I could see that. I would love for them to kind of like revisit that idea. But going back to Yuna's World of Illusion weapon, when she got her EX weapon when she summons in Balefore, I was like, oh, this is going to be great because her World of Illusion weapon turns her Brave Attack to Thunder Base, pair her up with like Garnet, and you're going to be doing a lot of damage. Nope, it doesn't work with freaking Balefore, the Brave Attack. I'm like, oh, come on, this is bullshit. Like, what the hell? I hated that did not work. I'm like, what's the point of this damn thing then? Like, because like even now you're gonna have Balefore up a huge majority of the time, so it's worthless. It's freaking worthless.
You better have them up all the time.
Where's Mino? It's trash. Come on. Gosh damn it.
I think they've just abandoned the World of Illusion weapons at this point.
Yeah,
I totally forgot they existed.
Even the Dark Mannequin weapons are more useful. Some of them, I mean, compared to like Yuna's and Rem's, obviously.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly because they do increase or they buff up that character's first and second ability either by Brave Gain or Brave Damage. So if you guys sold those without maxing them out, shame on you. It's a damn shame. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they would do if they were. Yeah, I think they should just let it be as it is. I know there's a few good ones.
Just let it be. It would just be a new weapon tier if they're releasing anything, which they will eventually. We'll eventually have like, if this game lasts long enough, we'll have like 8 weapons
in October. I seriously think something's new is going to happen in October on the JP side of the game. So just watch, guys. Just watch. I feel like that's always happened in October. EX weapons on the JP side of the game. LD and burst weapons happen around October. So we will see. And yes, Rez is going to be doing a Yuna cosplay based off of the donations, yes?
Yeah, classic. I'll be doing classic Yuna cosplay. So from OG FF10.
All right, guys. A few more questions, and then we will be ending episode 9 of the Fireside Chat. So if you guys see a question, feel free. Oh.
They would never. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Jen. You saw it first.
Well, Final SM is asking, do you guys think they should get rid of the 15 and 35 CP weapons? They are so old at this point. But they actually, I mean, they're still important to the character's kit, most of the characters. And I don't think they'll ever get rid of them. But that they've made it really easy to get them, so I don't really see a problem with them either. And if you've been playing long enough, you have the weapon tokens. Like I don't get like why people would, unless you're a brand new player, don't go back in a banner for like a 35 CP unit or weapon.
And I feel as the game progresses, they're handing, like on the banners, they're handing out these weapons like candy. So it shouldn't be an issue once those characters are featured to pick up their 15 and 35 CP weapons. And 40, don't apologize for doing your daddy duties, fam. We got you.
Yeah. We got you.
It's only harder for newer players to get it, but they also have all the resources to farm that we've already farmed. We don't have any extra resources. They have all the resources. New players are in a pretty good spot if they plan all their pools properly.
Well, the difficult thing for newer players is that like you need power stones for everything. So
right.
It's like
you should be pooling a lot on the one banner.
Right. I mean, but I was looking at so like my final tally for Noele, for example, you know, I spent 300 tickets. I got 10 lease EX. I got 1 lease 15.
GG. But I also feel like as a newer player, I know like all of us, we've all been there, right? All of us here, we were new players. A lot of us started when the game came out. A few maybe a month later, like myself during Balthier when his event was happening. But like we've all been there. We've all struggled with Power Stones. We were deprived of Power Stones. We would sell. I can guarantee you a lot of us sold 15 CP weapons before they were maxed out. That's just the struggle of a new player. It's a gacha game, and I feel like this is just one of those games where it takes time to really have a lot of these 1535 CP weapons, EX weapons maxed out. So if you're a newer player, just keep that in mind. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time, for sure.
It's gonna take time, and your initial pools on the banners you want to build the character should go pretty deep, I would say. Should go pretty deep so that you don't have to use many power stones.
40, how do you feel? So a viewer asked if they should get rid of 15 and 35 CP weapons. That's what we were discussing.
Ooh. If they're new players?
I think just in general.
Well, just in general, depending on where your account is at, like I get rid of those all the time, if like especially if I already have them unlocked, right? But if I'm a new player, I actually would try to hold on to them. And like if I was a new player right now to start a new account, let's say I pulled on the triple BT LD banner with Pecil, Wall, and Sephiroth, I would try to pull for what's optimum, and then if I get anything else that is part of their kit but I can't necessarily level, I'll just keep it in my inventory for the time being, because I don't want it to bite me back where I'm kind of like, oh shoot, I should have kept that because now I need to go get it again, either with tokens or try to pull for it on another banner, right? So I personally would keep them if I was like a brand new player starting the game. I pulled for like maybe like their most optimum weapon, like whatever has the most CP or whatnot, and just play through the game, plow through content, and then eventually work to unlocking the 15 and 35 CP and all that stuff. And then afterwards, I could go ahead and just sell them. But I would not sell them as a new player, because like this is one of those games where like you don't want to rush it. It's better to enjoy it and actually to just pace yourself and get through the content as a new player. Get that burst weapon, get that LD weapon, or whatever it is that you're trying to pull for, and then work your way towards, getting your account to a fairly established point to prepare for some of the harder content. But I would never sell a weapon just to try to get a power stone. I think the impatience is not worth the very minuscule reward. You're gonna regret it later on.
Dark Mithra says that the power stone system in this game is really greedy. It's one of the worst aspects of it, and I would have to say I quite disagree, because like for example in other gachas, like you have to keep pulling multiple of that weapon, like to max like EX. You have to pull 4 EXs to max the EX. No, we have power stones that can do that. So it is always going to be a new player issue, power stones, but like it's a godsend for once you become more of a veteran player. It's like one of the best things of this game.
It really
and
is.
It's just gonna always be a new player struggles. New player can't expect to be as well set as a veteran just coming into the game. That's why when I advise newer players, like for example, if you're just starting the game, you come in, the best banner to pull is that Pecil, Wall, Sephiroth banner, and you pull all their weapons and you pull multiple copies of it, and you have them all 3 fully built. You will be able to do most content. We're not talking about like all the upcoming venues, but you can do most chaoses, most content, get more resources, plan your next banner that you want to pull on, then you pull all the kits from that banner too. So you're not using much power stones to build the characters that you are using. That's pretty much the advice I can give. It's mainly planning and spending wisely.
I agree with you full-heartedly. I know there's other games that you legit need duplicates of a character in order to limit break them. I know like Genshin Impact, you literally need to pull a duplicate of a character to what's I forget what it's called in there, but literally essentially like limit break them. The fact in Opera Omni, you can sell a 5-star weapon to get a power stone. Of course, you need 4 for a limit break. The fact Dragoon brought up that you can buy a power stone weekly with the Dissidia points, or Brave Exvius has you need duplicate system. I agree with Jin in terms that I do like the power stone system in this game, and that's honestly what makes this game free to play friendly.
In fact, literally pull 11 copies of a unit to max them, and and that's for units where sometimes there is no pity, or even if there is pity, that's like it's a year's worth of orbs that you'd need to save in order to max them, and there's no other way to like limit break a unit other than pulling another character, another copy of that character.
All right, so one more question, and I actually picked one out because I think this one is quite interesting. I guess it kind of follows up to the whole Power Stone free-to-play friendly aspect. And this will be the last question of the night, guys. All right, so my fellow host, do you think it's better to max out as many or as few characters as possible?
Like quantity over quality kind of thing?
Right. They were following up with I only use like 3 characters to get through the story, but then you have Abyss and Endgame mechanics.
Like open-ended question. You kind of want to it's just planning. Like you need to have units that fill out your requirement in your roster at least. So you need like a magic DPS, you need like a physical DPS, you need a healer, you need a support aura units, all the different roles. So it's mainly knowing what your roles that you're lacking, and then you plan to pool on certain banners, and then eventually you'll slowly build a roster decent enough to do all those entropy abyss stuff. But it takes time. It's never gonna be a immediate thing. So I wouldn't say like pool on all the banners now so you can have a very varied roster right away. I would still choose and be picky on who you're pooling for. But you gotta keep an eye on what roles they do and what roles you need.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, it's why on like the Tomberry Troop website, when you're looking at Lufenia research or something, it's like these aren't necessarily characters that you need to have. You just need to have somebody that fits this role. So I'd say, just look at your party and look at the roles that you're lacking in and focus on those. Like Abyss content is, generally permanent. And a lot of most Lufenias are also permanent. You might miss out on some limited time rewards, but in general you can get through like all content as long as you have specific roles filled out. So that's what I would have at the bare minimum, as the bare minimum.
40, what do you think, fam?
I'm in the same boat as Jin. I think understanding the roles and what you need for like later end game content is important. But for like story, you could be a bit more lenient with yourself, because a lot of the story content is not necessarily overly too hard until you get into like the later parts of like Act 2, I would say, where like we eventually get introduced to Lufenia, and then Act 3, it gets a little bit more tricky. But like for like Chapter 1 and all that, it's pretty straightforward. You can build up like 3, 4, 5, 6 characters that can carry you, and then like if it does require like a character to be in your party, you could just essentially carry that character if it's a character that you're not building. But eventually, if you're looking to get into end game content and like being able to do Abyss and being able to do Transcendence, which is, thank God, it's permanent content, so it's not like you have to rush it. You eventually slowly want to build characters. You want to build like multiple characters, so then that way you can have like a party composition for said fight, rather than just relying on the same ones, which that's not going to be feasible, especially with certain content where they lock out a team once you actually use them. So that's my piece on that particular topic.
I definitely agree with what you guys said for sure. I know that this is probably a bigger topic, especially for newer players. The way I see it is, if you're a newer player, first and foremost, try to listen to content creators, not just one, but just multiple content creators, just so you can get an idea of how the game works, how team compositions work, how characters work, get an idea of how they work. How Jin was saying, when it comes to team compositions, you're going to have to fill multiple roles. But the way that I see it is that get characters that are going to help you complete the most content with. All right. So we've been in your shoes. I know for me specifically, also for at least on the JP side of the game, there was times when I couldn't do content over there because I didn't have certain roles filled, but I was able to do other content because I had certain characters. So I believe that having some strong characters, like for example Tifa, she's a very powerful character that if you bring her to a lot of content now, you're going to defeat a lot, especially a lot of the earlier content, or even now. So just focusing on strong characters and focusing on characters that are going to let you do a lot of content, I believe are characters that you should go for. You're not going to be able to do every single challenge quest in the game. You might not be able to do every single Lufenia because you might be missing a certain role, or they have like a Lufenia mechanic that is tied or locked behind his specific character gimmick. But as long as you could do all that other content, I still believe that it's fine to go for that certain character.
TLDR, get that ROI, get that return on investment. Like, just use your resources the most efficiently as possible. Easier said than done, but get that ROI.
I think the biggest, I would say, antagonist is, first and foremost, this is a gacha game, and I feel like the need to beat content would be your worst enemy, because that's how you're going to spend your resources. That's how you're going to spend your tickets. That's how you're going to spend your gems. And you have I'm sorry?
Avoid FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yes, exactly. So if you can look past, you have to look past that. You really do. You might not be able to beat all the content in the game, but it's okay. Don't spend your resources just to do this one content and then not be like miss out on another character that's incoming, like Porom, for example. So exactly what Rez was saying. What return on investment? So
Can you tell I work in tech?
yes. All right, guys. So that is it for tonight's stream. Thank you, or tonight's podcast episode 9. A few more, and we will be on our first anniversary. That's going to be very exciting. We'll have to do.
It's epic.
That's gonna be hype. All right, guys. So, thank you guys for joining us in episode 9. It wasn't a 3-hour stream; it was a 2-hour stream this time around. We're still trying to cut it down so it's not too long. But if you could please tell our viewers where they may find you. If we could start off with 40.
You guys can find me on Twitch, Discord, and Twitter.
RIP YouTube. RIP.
Yes. Jin is the new godfather, guys. So he's the godfather now.
I'll take 40's YouTube slot. You can find me on YouTube.
Rez?
Right, because and OnlyFans, don't forget.
Oh,
yeah, you can find me on Twitch, YouTube, and Discord. Thank you guys all for tuning in.
And you can
Teddy's passed out on my lap, otherwise he'd say hi.
Oh, puppy Teddy. And you can find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, which Rez and Jen need to join. Just saying.
No, I have a Twitter. It's just for shit posting, though.
Oh, crap. And don't forget to check out Rez's streams for her Yuna cosplay donation goal, so she can do her Yuna cosplay. All right, guys. So thank you guys for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. And we will see you guys on the next one. All right. Take it easy.
Peace out.
Bye, guys.